coming in, you guys. It's day number 52 of my 365-day Jimmy Ice Bath Challenge. I forgot my clock. Always have the clock ready to go before I get into the ice bath. 5 minutes a day, every single day since the beginning of the year. And we're going to keep doing this for the whole entirety of 2022. Today, the temperature of the ice bath is a very cold 32.7 degrees Fahrenheit. So that is rocking and rolling, ready to go. So yes, about ready to get into the ice bath. I did check the ice ahead of time, big chunks of ice. At the bottom, there is quite a bit of ice developing. So as you know, the Morosco Forge, which is what I use, makes its own ice. So at the bottom, it's got kind of a sheet of ice. So it's going to be a little bit slick when I get in. So if I kind of steadily get in slowly at the beginning, I've yet to slip and fall on camera, so don't make day 52 the first day that happens. But today, you guys, when I get in there, I want to bring up a topic that I think is so important, and it's this concept called reappraisal. So reappraisal is kind of a mental concept where you change your perception about something, and I'm still seeing so many people make mocking comments about people doing cold therapy that I want to talk about this idea of reappraisal. So when we get in, we'll tell you all about that. Set you down, tilt you down. You guys that follow me every day, you know what's about to happen. 5 minutes are on the clock. I'm about to put my body into that water for 5 minutes. So here we go. All right.
In we go. Where we stop, nobody knows.
Okay, you guys, so there's this concept within like mental health circles and mindset circles where you can convince your brain to do things that are hard. And so in order to do that, you have to manipulate the brain, so to speak, to believe things about itself that the conscious brain doesn't. So consciously, when you look at an ice bath, your brain is going to go berserko on you to tell you, wow, that looks crazy, that looks uncomfortable, avoid that at all costs. This is a protection mechanism. We've talked about this before, where if you put your hand on a hot stove, it will hurt to get you to pull it away. That's the whole point. And getting into a tub full of ice like this, same thing. Your body's going to give you panic mode when you get in. But there is this concept called reappraisal. So reappraisal is where you do a hard thing, and yes, your brain's going to do the panic thing. You're going to go through all the histrionics of all that. And then the next time, you're going to panic again. And then the next time, you're going to panic again. And that's all normal. But what you do each time is you reappraise and you come up with like a word that says, okay, yes, it's tough, but this is what's going to get me through it. So for me in an ice bath, It's still pretty intense to get in, even though it's been 52 days in a row. Still pretty intense to get in. So what I do is I tell myself, you know what? Think about how good you feel when you get out of the ice bath, Jimmy. So if you think about something positive related to this hard thing, it gives you that incentive. And that's what this concept is all about. So you want to kind of reframe it, reframe your perception. And I'm still seeing, not just on my own post, but other people doing ice baths. Mel Robbins, I saw her do a dip yesterday, and I posted it on my stories. And she had somebody on her page say, "Oh my gosh, I could never do that." And I'm just like, you people. Reappraisal. You got to constantly remind yourself of the why. You can focus on the what. Oh my gosh, that's so cold, that's so painful, blah, blah, blah. Or you can say, this right here is a means to an end to get somewhere I want to go in my life. And when you reframe it like that and reappraise it, you guys, everything changes. All right, we got about a half minute left. As always, at the end, I like to dip my head under the water. So, I'm going to plug the nose, plug the ears, and go under. I didn't come up too fast because there are big chunks of ice, and I would bust my head. Like, look at this, you guys. Big chunks of ice. So there was no bursting up out of that water. Not with all those pieces of ice in there. But do you feel me on this, guys? This whole idea of changing the way you perceive things. Because let's face it, everything in your life that you respond to, it's just your perception of what it is. I mean, everything. It's just a perception. And so if it's only a perception, can you change a perception? You bet you can. Can you shift how you think about something and make it something else? Yeah. And I feel like all the people that just have a defeatist attitude of I could never do and name the hard thing. Ice bath just happens to be what I talk about. But any hard thing in life, reappraisal fits all of those things. You can reappraise where you are. You can tell yourself that it's hard, and guess what? You're going to hardwire believe that it's hard. But then you tell yourself, okay, yes, it's hard, but I see the means to an end. I see what the end result is. I see where I'm going with this. So if you have a reason why you do hard things, like an ice bath, if you have a reason why you do it, it makes you more able to do it. It's so weird, but the human mind works that way, that we were equipped to try to prevent pain. We're equipped to try to have the narrowest path to get to the most pleasure, right? But if you can convince your brain, okay, there are paths that aren't all pleasure that will get you to bigger pleasure than you can get unless you do the hard thing. That's where this reappraisal comes into mind. And so everybody that kind of complains, oh, I could never do an ice bath, that's too painful, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, with that mindset, you're right. You could never do it. And there was a study, I was just reading this study earlier today. There was a study in 2016 that says when you try to do hard things, you're more apt to do them if you are in a good mood than if you are in a sour mood. And so if you go into an ice bath, it's, oh my God, this is going to be miserable. This is going to be the worst thing ever. You're not going to succeed. You're not even giving yourself a chance. All right, let's see who all's here today. Hand's still a little frozen today. By the way, I checked my temperature right before coming on the air, It was, again, a low-grade fever, 99.1 degrees Fahrenheit, so take that for what it's worth. See all kinds of people here today. Thank you for being here, you guys. KQ says hello. Cherish says, hey, Jimmy, can't stay. I just wanted to say hi. Well, thanks for popping in. I like your new photo, by the way, Cherish. Bulletproof says, go, 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 Jimmy. What's he got today? Chicken, Hatch chicken, duck, and chicken. Yes, I guess you hear my chickens in the background. Dawn says, this applies to so many things. It does. It really does. Like, this whole idea of doing hard things isn't just about an ice bath. Yes, it's a very hard thing. Don't get me wrong. Very hard. But reappraising where you are about your thoughts when it comes to doing hard things. Do this right now. Think of something very difficult that you have avoided doing. Just think of any random thing. Very difficult. Okay? Now, ask yourself, why is it so hard? Okay? So when you think of what that negative thought is about why that thing is hard, now reframe that. Look at your perception of that situation, of what you perceive as hard. Now, reframe it into a positive and see if changing it from this negative perception over to a positive one changes anything. So let me give the example of the ice bath. The negativity is, oh my gosh, I'm going to freeze. I'm going to shiver. It's going to be painful. Your hands are going to get numb. It's just not going to feel good. Okay, that's the negative perception. That's one way to convince yourself not to do the hard thing. How do you reframe it? Yes, I'm going to get cold, but when I get out, it's going to feel amazing. I'm going to sleep deeper. I'm going to actively lower inflammation levels. I'm going to lower blood sugar and blood pressure levels. I'm going to feel great. My mental health is going to get a boost. So you start thinking about all the positive things. That's the reappraisal. That's allowing your mind to believe that this thing that everybody sees as hard and impossible can actually be a good thing, and that's what gets you in it. That's why you see Jimmy Moore get into that ice bath every single day like clockwork. Have not hesitated. Only one day did I miss, and that day I just felt horrible, and it was a bad idea to try to get into the ice bath when I didn't feel well. But other than that one day, I've done 52 days this year in a row of doing this ice bath. And I'm pretty damn proud of it too. So once again, that message came at the very perfect time. Awesome, Dawn. I love it when that happens. Parkman said, that's what she said joke. What did I say that warranted that's what she said? By the way, that's one of my favorite jokes to use. That's what she said. Gabby says hello. So welcome. I see my friend Kelly is here. Kelly's going to come visit me for my birthday party coming up this weekend. And so she's coming here and she's been doing some lake. She's got a lake next to her house in Pennsylvania, and it's been very cold in Pennsylvania. She actually convinced her boy, one of her boys, to go in there and do it with her as well. So she's like, Jimmy, I want to try the Morozco Forge, and we're going to get her in there. So reversing insulin resistance, that's Roxana, says, I wanted to do a cold shower last night, but I chickened out. But I am in my first extended fast, 86 hours and counting. That's great, Roxana. By the way, it's okay if you had the desire to want to do a cold shower, but then that fear of the negative overwhelmed you. This message today is for people like you, Roxana. Reframing your perception about this is everything. Reframing how you view a cold shower. Yes, it's going to be uncomfortable. Focus on your breath. Or if you want to do the Wim Hof, you could do either method, but just breathe your way into it. Because here's what happens. People always say, wow, I went into it dreading it because it was going to be so painful and I had all these thoughts. But then once I got in there and kind of calmed down, then it was wonderful. Then it felt great. And then the aftermath of getting out
and having the kind of buzz, like right now, I have kind of a buzz from being in the cold, and now my body's starting to warm itself back up. There's so many good things. You have to focus. You got to skip to the good part, is that famous little line in a reel always said, let's skip to the good part. You guys have seen it. You know what I'm talking about. And yeah, just skip to the good part in your head. Do that reappraisal. It works, you guys. It really does. But congratulations on your fasting. 86 hours. That's pretty hardcore. She's in her 4th day, you guys. So that's pretty good, Roxana. Great job. Which, by the way, I'm going to do another fast. Obviously, my birthday weekend is this weekend. I'm eating all the foods this weekend. I've got a nice spread of food at my party. And then my friend Kelly's going to be here. So after Kelly leaves, I'll probably organize a fast coming up. So somewhere in mid-March probably is when that will happen. Hello, 1310. Appreciate you being here. But yes, those of you that came in late, day number 52 of my 365-day Jimmy Ice Bath Challenge. Been getting into 32-degree temperature water every single day, 5 minutes a day, just to see how a little cold thermogenesis in 2022 is going to do. So far, so good. I have definitely gotten past the, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm putting my body into a bath of ice part. I'm pretty good there now. Now I'm at the point of, okay, should I go longer? Because I can't go colder. It's 32 degrees. You go colder, it's going to be a block of ice. But the decision will happen as I continue down this road. Okay, is 5 minutes enough? Can I go longer? Should I go longer? We're going to work through all that stuff. Right now, I think 5 minutes is the perfect length. 32 degrees, 5 minutes. I get the effects that I want. By the way, I'm starting to shiver, so this is normal. Right about 10, 15 minutes after getting out, I start to get this quiver in my belly. And so if you hear my voice start to do that, it's because I am starting to shiver. And again, that's a normal response to shiver when you come out of an ice bath. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed that. As always, reframe your mind. Everything that you think negative about an ice bath is only a perception in your mind. Everything that you believe is going to happen if you expose your body to a cold shower or an ice bath. All of those things are just thoughts. They're not real. And when you get into a cold shower or an ice bath and you start to freak out, that's not a physical freak out. It's a mental one. Grab back your mind. Reappraise. Yes, it's going to take a little bit. Your body has to be convinced that you're not needing to freak out. When I first started this journey, I would get in and my body, and I remember the very first time, I think I told this story one time, but the very first time that I got into the Morosco Forge, when I was able to pull the temperature down to 32 degrees, I had only done ice in my bathtub before that. So this was the first time I was able to go that cold and get in. My body had a WTF moment like none other. Like literally, I felt like my heart drop and I felt kind of fluttering in the heart. Very first time I got in. And I was kind of going, oh crap, what is this? Like, am I going to have a heart attack? I was really like a little bit freaking out, low key freaking out. But I breathed and I just got through it. And did all the things, but you can't judge it just based on that first experience. You really have to do it. Get through that. Experience whatever you're going to experience. Keep the positive mindset. Reappraise. Okay, that sucked, but wow, look how I feel right now. Let me remember that feeling of how I feel right now getting out, so that the next time I get in, that's what I'm aiming for, is that feeling of when I get out. And so doing that constant reappraisal. And even now, here on day 52 of my Ice Bath Challenge, even now, I'm continuing to reappraise. And I'm gonna admit to you, there are days where I dread getting in that thing. I do. Now, I get in so resolute, you might not notice that. But there are some days that I'm just like, ugh. Again, I have to go into that thing again. But once I'm in, once I breathe, once I get out, once I feel what I'm feeling right now and all the energy and all the everything, my hands are back, by the way, from the numbness. Once I feel all the benefits that I'm supposed to get from this, then that hardwires in my brain. That's part of that reappraisal. It lets me know this is a good thing. This is something you need to keep doing, so that the next time I have a little dread in my head about getting in, I have this positive experience now in my head of what this is doing. So we may hate the means to the end to get there, but it's the end result that keeps us coming back. That makes sense? All right, guys, let me pop off of here for now. Thank you so much for watching. Again, day 52. We are rocking and we are rolling on this Jimmy Ice Bath Challenge. Hope you've enjoyed this. I'm going to keep teaching. I've got so many things to talk about when it comes to this, and I'm probably going to shift over to a lot of the kind of mindset types of things soon, because I've talked about a lot of the mechanics of ice baths and physiologically how they work and how you get warmed up and all the different things like that. But I think getting the mindset piece down is probably the biggest barrier to people doing this on a regular basis. So I got you. I got you back. We're going to help you out with that. So thank you so much for joining today. I'll be back again real soon. Bye, guys.